Hi there, this is Lee. And in several previous videos, I've spoken of Dr. Jill Stein, the Green Party presidential candidate for 2016. I've spoken of her very puzzled at the level of vituperation and blowback that she has gotten in our mainstream media and then also our alternative media, specifically on several issues related to science. Her stance of caution on several issues, her cautious stance towards vaccinations, her cautious stance towards GMOs, genetically modified organisms in the food supply, and then her caution on pesticides. So basically, her concern with public health as it relates to the food supply, and then also of our drugs, our vaccinations. And it just seemed like so over the top, just really hysterical with a lot of resentment and hostility to that public discussion that it just seems a little bit extra. A little extraordinary, we'll say, against Jill Stein attacking her on scientific issues. And I was trying to figure that out. Like, this seems like a little over the top. It's a little bit much. It's going just, what is this going on? And I said, well, maybe it's because she's a woman and some men might have an issue with a woman declaring herself a scientist, someone who can speak authoritatively on scientific issues, someone who calls herself a medical doctor, Harvard trained medical doctor, former instructor, now retired, but former practicing physician, licensed and everything. So I said, maybe it's that they can't handle. And you wait a couple of weeks or a few days, and lo and behold, some news reveals itself. Specifically, Jill Stein, if you go to her Wikipedia page, there's just a lot of, well, just go to her Wikipedia page. You'll see it for yourself. But under the science section, there's a lot of controversy. And you go to the behind the main or behind the front page to where all the editing happens, and the knife fighting behind the scenes is pretty awesome. It's just like the Crips and the Bloods behind the scenes on her Wikipedia page. But anyway, I go to Common Dreams and I see several articles. One is written by Nika Knight, and she says, 5-alarm threat to our food supply. Monsanto Bayer merger advances. So Jill Stein has commented on GMOs and pesticides and vaccines in general, and she's been attacked through various means for recommending caution, recommending oversight, recommending regulation. Lo and behold, this article is saying chemical and GMO giants agree on takeover offer worth $66 million. Mega merger to be reviewed by antitrust agencies worldwide. So that was $66 billion reasons why Jill Stein was taking a lot of blowback for her commentary on GMOs and things like that. Okay, so Monsanto accepted Bayer's $66 billion takeover offer. It's the largest all-cash deal ever this morning, which is Wednesday, September 14th. And so antitrust agencies are reviewing that proposed mega merger. Environmental consumer advocates are condemning this. They're saying that it's going to be the largest pesticide and GMO corporation in the world. Okay, so ahead of the international corporate watchdog, some of us are saying that this new mega corporation would be the world's biggest seed maker and pesticide company defying important antitrust protections and giving it unacceptable control over critical aspects of our food supply. And it's going to undermine consumer choice and the freedom and stability of farmers worldwide. So, all questions answered, I hope. But let's go on. They're saying that the director of the Organic Consumers Association has commented this merger of Bayer and Monsanto should make the connection between big pharma, big biotech, and big food all the more apparent to consumers. So it's kind of scaring people. People have seen it coming, and now it's here. There's people who are saying that the antitrust enforcers must not allow this merger to proceed. That's an unnamed official involved. And so there's been a lot of protest, and that's not it. There is also going to be another consolidation, and this is going to be Dow and DuPont, and then Kim China and Syngenta. All of this within the biotech industry. And so hopefully the Senate Judiciary Committee will be reviewing this trend of consolidation, and it's leading to less competition. And usually when there's less competition, it's always the consumer who suffers. And this is according to National Farmers Union President Andrew Johnson. So we've got the organic community, we've got the farmers community, we've got other members of the regulation industry commenting on this. Okay, is everybody anti-science like Jill Stein, or is there something that we should all be concerned about? A lot of that blowback against Jill Stein is a self-defense of a billion-dollar industry. We should all be looking at this a little bit more closely. Okay, so they're saying that Monsanto and Bayer have a long history in this article. They made explosives and poisonous gases together. They made war chemicals. Monsanto, with Bayer, supplied ingredients for Agent Orange in the Vietnam War. And that some of the children have been exposed in Vietnam, and they're still suffering deformities and cancers and other chronic illnesses because of their exposure. And so they're saying that this chemical cartel that includes Bayer and Monsanto, they were actually responsible for exterminating people in concentration camps, according to this article. It's a century of ecocide and genocide, killing the environment, killing the people. And so she's saying that they're a poison cartel, and they're cloaking themselves in the clothes of genetic engineering, and they're saying that it's innovation and that anyone who challenges that must be anti-science. But they're saying that this is propaganda, and that Hitler's concentration camps were also a form of innovation, according to this article. And so they're just finding more ways of a type of long-term extermination. Silent, global, efficient, and lucrative. I'll add that word on too. So it goes on, and one example that Common Dreams has also found in another article is how this has affected India. Monsanto and the poisonous cartel of Gmos in India. This is written by Vandava Shiva at Common Dreams. And so India's in a controversy created by Monsanto regarding the first GMO crop, supposedly approved for commercialization. And so there's litigation on many fronts. Basically, what it comes down to, according to the writer of this article, is that Monsanto is trying to subvert India's patent laws, the Protection of Plant Variety and Farmers' Rights Act, Essential Commodities Act, and Competition Act. And so basically the writer is saying that Monsanto is behaving as if there is no parliament in India, no democracy in India, no sovereign laws in India to which it is subject, or that it just does not have any regard for them. And if you think about that for a while, doesn't that sound like the investor state dispute settlement of the Trans Pacific Partnership and the Transatlantic Trade and Investment Partnership in a nutshell? This is where we're headed. This is free trade in motion. This is what it's going to be looking like everywhere on the Trans-Pacific Partnership. It's going to be pipelines going through your backyard while you protest and vicious dogs are set on you. It's going to be Monsanto shoving all kinds of crazy food into your food supply, telling you what seeds you can and cannot use, basically controlling the food supply, and then suing you when you challenge them about it because you're messing with their profit. This is the way we're headed. It's happening now, but soon it's going to be law, and there's going to be no way to fight it in our court system. So this is what the merger between Monsanto and Bayer are doing to India right now. And I'm just going to leave a link to both of these articles in the description. But the global chemical and GMO industries, such as Bayer, Dow, Agro, DuPont Pioneer, Mako, Monsanto, Syngenta, they're coming together to basically control the world's food supply. And I think that's something we should all be concerned about because they don't necessarily have our best interest in heart. Mostly it's their eye on the bottom line. And as for Dr. Jill Stein, I think her concerns are justified if you really think about it long enough. Good luck.